Hello, my lovely peaches. How are you? Welcome and welcome back. Today was day 22 of the Karen Reed trial, and I believe that today may have been the day that the prosecution lost. Did the prosecution lost? Did the prosecution lose their case? Last night I was planning on making a video today after court, and I was going to mention that on Alita's page, every time that there's trial, she asks a poll, guilty, not guilty, need more information, and it has stayed at 75% voting for not guilty. And regardless of whatever diabolical things I think, or all of the things that her texts with Brian Higgins showed, the testimony from the Sullivan sisters, and all of the other things that seem like, did she hit him? Could she have hit him? Today, let's see, group chat mess, biased text, framed evidence. If the texts are shit, you must acquit. If the testimony's lit, I bet Lolly's taking a shit right now. So that's what I think about today. Let's talk about it. So the long-awaited, much-anticipated, most rumored about potential witness finally got on the stand today. And what I had supposed is that the guy would get on the stand, he'd look normal, he'd sound normal, and it would all be all right. However, in opening statements, defense attorney Alan Jackson had said that he had been looking for nudes from Karen Reed and a bunch of other shit. So what actually came out today? Mirrored video. Was it mirrored? Is it flipped now? I'm not sure, but I flipped my phone around. So the mirrored video, which came out last week, which was Karen Reed's Lexus SUV in the Sally Port, which is like a big garage, where they had the SUV. Today it came out that the reason why they went there was because it was heated and her car was frozen and they wanted to melt it down. So Trooper Proctor, he testified, and these ratchet ass text messages came out. Now what he wants the jury to believe is, yes, I said some unprofessional, poorly worded texts that I should never have said, but those texts were not evidence of my bias towards Karen Reed. In fact, none of the evidence or the investigation was influenced by these nasty texts. So what did he say in the texts? Well, he called her a cunt, and he said it, and they made him say it, the whole word. So this was like group texts with Trooper Buchanan and a bunch of other people, and somebody sends a picture of defense attorney Yannetti, and Trooper Proctor says, I really, truly hate that man. I'm looking through his retarded client's cell phone right now. No nudes yet. Okay, so I want to be honest. I was fucking cracking the fuck up. Now, I was bouncing between watching on Alita Legal Bites channel, although she's at a hotel, and so she's just not on her normal stream, and it kept lagging. So then I jumped over to Emily D. Baker's channel, And I love Emily, although sometimes she does just yap a little bit too much, so that was annoying me. So then I just went to Surviving the Survivors stream, where they just straight up stream it. And like I was telling my son, I think I mentioned it in a video recently, I must have Law Nerd upgraded to the next level, because now I kind of prefer to watch it without them, because it's like their comments are very influential. So, you know, back to the whole Alita's poll is steady 75% not guilty, yet at the same time Alita is steady making comments that are very disparaging against the prosecution. And it's clear that Alita is trying to be unbiased, but that she's heavily leaning towards that this is actually, she's actually said today she's starting to lean towards this was a frame job. I'm going to take a sip of, it's actually lemon seltzer in my lemon mug, which does spark trypophobia, which I do have, and my pineapple glass straw. I broke so many. The pink one that had a strawberry on it, gone. One little tap and it broke. So Emily is very, very annoyed at Lolly. Emily was utterly disgusted by those vile text messages. And I don't blame her. I understand. And I also, you know, I agree. Like, at this point, will the jury actually genuinely believe that Trooper Proctor could call Karen a cunt, call her a whack job, joke? Oh God. Then there was like the really nasty stuff he said. So apparently she's got Crohn's or IBS, which is like an issue with your, IBS is irritable bowel syndrome. And, you know, you can have problems with your digestion, your gut, and going to the bathroom. So he was talking about she poops on herself. She's got a leaky balloon knot. Like her butthole, her sphincter, I guess, is referring to the balloon knot. And it's leaky. And then one of the people in the chat says, well, is she hot? Like, this is after he says, like, they think they have enough evidence that they got into a fight and she hit him with her car. And then, well, is she at least hot? And then he said something like, if you like a woman who shits on herself. Oh, and he says she's got a Fall River accent, no ass, and a leaky balloon knot. Then he also said, like, so one of the other people who was responding to him said something about, like, the cops are going to get shit about this. And he said, nope, he's also a Boston cop, meaning Brian Albert. So I don't know. I mean, like I was saying, you know, I think that those text messages between Brian Higgins and Karen Reed show that Karen is a diabolical bitch. And there was, so I wasn't able to, like, literally memorize everything, and I'm not even gonna bother to screen record it. If you want to watch it, then go to Surviving the Survivor today, which is Monday, June 10th. It is day 22, morning. Well, they actually streamed one whole, like, 8-hour stream, I think, from morning, and you know, you can just fast forward through the lunch and the breaks and the sidebars. But if you want to watch it, go watch it there, because it would literally take me all day to record it and edit out all the breaks. It's not even worth it. But it's all there. And, you know, I will say that he did not say he was looking for nudes as if he was searching for them, but he did say no nudes yet, which is, like, he said it's a poor taste joke. Defense attorney Alan Jackson was trying to push that means he was looking for nudes, and he's like, no, I was just making a bad joke. And, you know, obviously, oh, and then he's like, you weren't thinking about this objectively. You were objectifying her. And, you know, I mean, it looks really, really bad is what I will say. He thinks she's a whack job, a cunt. He's talking bad about her body, about her accent, about her medical conditions, and saying the bitch is going down. But then he did say something, which I didn't get the exact words of what he said, was that she said something about Brian Albert had beat him up, and that he thought that was fucking gross or something like that. And, you know, will there be a further evidence? Oh, and then there was also something that somebody had said. He said something about there was a woman cop who beat him up, and then he was like, no, that's what I thought, but then I saw his body, and she hit him with her car. She waffled him. I don't know, that triggers my trypophobia, because it makes me feel like the holes and like okay, so I don't know. I will be honest and say, I can honestly say that for every tiptoe step that I've taken closer towards like, oh, did she do it? Did she hit him? There's like 2 or 3 steps of like doubt. There's reasonable doubt. There is reasonable doubt. And I also made this analogy in another video where I said, you know, when there's a sports game, now this is me making a sports analogy, who I don't watch sports, but my brother and my dad are like sports fanatics. So, well, my dad was. So I was like exposed to it or whatever. Okay, so like, you know how in baseball you have like the at bat side, and they are the only ones who can score. So if you're looking at the scoreboard and at the top of the inning and only one side has been at bat, and you're like, oh my God, you know, side A is killing side B, but side B hasn't even gotten up to bat yet. So it's like a half-baked cake analogy. Like, don't take the cake out when it's half-baked and then say this sucks. You know, of course a half-baked cake sucks, but the sad thing is that the prosecution is the side at bat right now. They should be killing the defense. They should be score, and it should look very, very, very slanted in the prosecution's favor if their case was so strong. And then it would be like, oh my God, there's all this salacious stuff. Now, how will the defense explain it away? How are the defense going to show that this isn't accurate? Like, what are they going to do to make all these scores, all these grand slams, all these home runs not matter? However, it seems that here we are. It feels like we are at the bottom of the eighth inning with only the prosecution going, although of course the defense has had their cross-examinations where they've scored points, you know. And it's like, okay, so at first I thought like, well, the mirrored Sally Port video, is it that big of a deal? I don't know. But then I see in Emily D. Baker's chat and Peter Tragos's chat and Alita's chat, at least 75% of people think it's a really, really, really big deal. So I'm going to say, okay, it must be me who, you know, I wanted to see why it was a big deal. I mean, and I do see that, like, you can't see the tail light that is the one that's supposedly broken. And so that basically is hidden. So you don't know what's happening, you know, and it's more of a like, it's just doubt. It's not evidence of something definitive that happened. It's kind of like evidence of like not that strong of evidence that something did happen. You know, it's the defense is creating reasonable doubt. So I went from thinking, well, the mirrored video, does it really matter, to like, I don't know if it matters, but it does seem to create doubt. Okay, now you got Trooper Proctor getting on the stand, and on his direct examination, it is a shit show. It is a, oh my God, like you said all that crap, and like Alita was pointing out, it seems like within the first, less than 24 hours, he was already quite certain that it was Karen. Now, maybe the evidence bore that out. Maybe all the evidence that he had obtained in that first 18 hours made it clear who it was. And I don't disagree that that's a possibility. I mean, sometimes that's just what happens. The evidence points to it. And if he's got people telling him, she's saying, I hit him, and whatever stuff she was saying, and the broken tail light, and I'm not saying I think that she's absolutely not guilty and that she's absolutely not going to be found guilty. But I feel like it's like a 95% chance that she's going to get, like, I was thinking it was like, oh, we're definitely going to get a hung jury, probably like 95% chance hung jury. Now I'm at like, I think this is 95% chance not guilty. And whether she actually hit him or not, I don't know. Where's the fucking evidence, Lolly? Where's the evidence that will kill the doubt? And why is the evidence so questionable, doubtful? And why is the lead investigator, who should have recused himself, not recused himself, and then saying a bunch of shit in the text? It's like, yeah, I might have been laughing at it at the moment, but I was at the same time like, it's actually not a laughing matter, because this is supposed to be professional police investigator. Like, we need to have higher standards. So while it might be salacious hot tea and kind of like, Jesus, he said what? He said she had a Fall River accent, no ass, and a leaky fucking balloon. Oh my God. So whether she hit this man with her car and she actually killed him, at this point, I feel like if she did, she gonna get away with it, because they fucked up so bad. Unless Lolly has some major grand slam home runs that he's just gonna hit him out the park for the rest of the week, I don't know. He might as well pack it up and go home along with Karen Reed, because she's going to be going home. She does go home. She's not being held in jail. But at this point, I'm going to say, I don't know for sure. I'm not saying I absolutely think that she did not hit him with her car and leave him for dead knowing. I think there's still a maybe. There's a maybe. But we got to see that they need to come out strong, come out popping, one grand slam after the next, because otherwise, forget it. Those are my thoughts. There's no trial tomorrow. So I think Wednesday might be a half a day with some voir dire of some defense witnesses that they want to bring, but they have to like voir dire them, which means ask them questions outside of the presence of the jury to see if the judge will say, yes, this line of questioning and whatever their answers are is admissible evidence, and then they basically do it all over again a second time, except in the presence of the jury. So the defense has some witnesses that are going to talk about, I think there's going to be like a crime scene reconstructionist expert, and then I think there's going to be like a dog bite and scratch expert who can testify that no, those are not those injuries did not come from a SUV, they came from a dog. I don't know. We'll see. That's supposedly going to be Wednesday, and I don't know if the jury's going to be there for part. Like maybe they'll do the voir dire in the morning, and then if they say, yes, you'll be witnesses, then they'll just go right into it, and then the jury will come in, and they will do the testimony. But that will be Wednesday, which will be the June 12th. Today's June 10th. So, and then that will be day 23 of trial for Karen Reed. And Judge Beverly Cannoni had said she expected trial to end at the end of June, but now she said today it's possible because of the voir dire and these extra additional witnesses that she hadn't anticipated that may even be pushed back even further, like into the beginning of July. So that's that. And like I said, you know, the defense hasn't even been at bat yet. So if the prosecution is doing this poorly at their at bat, I'm only imagining it's going to get worse from here. So I'm going to say at this point, I anticipate Karen Read getting not guilty verdict. I'm leaning towards 75 to 95% because of everything that's happened so far. All right, see you in the next one. And again, thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting the like. Please share this with anyone you know who you think might be interested in this trial and or anything else that I have to share on my channel. Please hit subscribe to help me get to that 1,000 juicy number. I'm almost there, and you could be one of the special ones. You're all special. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. See you in the next one. Bye.